Hello YouTube, hello to my new followers, hello to my existing followers. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to get this video out to you guys because I have a really busy, loaded, action-packed week ahead of me, and so I felt compelled that I needed to get this video out to you. So here I am. This video, I can tell you, is going to be about Demexit, hashtag Demexit. I want you to know that Demexit came way before WalkAway. WalkAway is a new thing, so I don't want you guys to take the credit, and I don't want you to just take this whole everyone's running to the Republican or conservative side, because at the end of the day, the bigger block, the bigger voting block is in the independent side. But if you can appeal to independents like Donald Trump did, then you can win. And so I think largely that has a lot to do with why he actually won in 2016. So I just want to put that out there. This video is going to talk about that. But before I get into that, I have to actually address my pronunciation errors that I made in my hashtag, the WalkAway movement being co-opted. So a lot of people started to engage me on that video. It may be up to like maybe 10,000 views right now. I'm not sure. But either way, several people pointed out that I pronounced Ed Schultz's name incorrectly. And anyone who actually noted that, I kind of responded and said, yes, you know, I think I added the C to his name. So I mispronounced it. But what I was trying to do was just to give my condolences to Ed Schultz. I don't know if you guys know him. He was a commentator for MSNBC. He had a radio show that was syndicated. He also, he spent 6 of his years on MSNBC, and he ended up kind of having a contract issue. They didn't like his vocal support that it seemed like for Bernie Sanders, and they got rid of him. But he was on RT America. That's where he spent like the last couple of years, being an anchor there. And he just passed the other day, and I was pretty much trying to give my condolences out to his family. And so I was responding to the people who were telling me that I pronounced the name wrong, but then there was a couple of folks who corrected me, rightfully so, and telling me that I pronounced the name wrong, and I was okay with that. But then they went a little further to take shots at Ed Schultz, and I'm like, you know, he just died. So, I mean, is it necessary? So they pretty much were trying to, you know, label him like he wasn't a good man, or, you know, he said some ugly things about people. And, you know, does it mean that people on the right or conservatives are higher than criticism? Are they above criticism? I don't think so. And you could say the same about the left. But at the end of the day, someone died. So I just didn't think it was that serious. But, you know, there was a couple of folks that took the opportunity. It's like, I got the opportunity to take shots, and that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, my correction, Ed Schultz. Sometimes I flip my tongue from time to time. It's my way of speaking, my dialect. I know lots of folks have told me that I have an accent. I don't think I have an accent, but they do. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, Williamsburg, Brooklyn to be exact. And my parents, my mom was a Latino woman. She's Puerto Rican and Panamanian, and my father was from the South. But I grew up in a primarily Latino neighborhood, Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And so sometimes I talk New Yorican, and I don't know. It all depends. Maybe it depends on who I'm speaking to. It may sound a little heavier. I don't know. But, you know, my message to you about, you know, about me speaking a certain way, and hopefully I didn't disturb you that much, but it's cierra tu boca for you. Cierra tu boca. Close your mouth. Okay? Close your mouth. It's not that serious. Do you want me to be robotic? You want me to be, or, you know, very calculated? Or do you want me to be organic? You know, just to speak to you normally, the way that I speak. I think you would prefer the latter. I know I do. because I can't be anything other than me. So, anyway, I grew up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and which is actually a place that has gotten super gentrified. It's not the same neighborhood anymore. Unfortunately, the gentrifiers have come in, and now they want to push their way of thinking. They want to push the culture that's already there out, and that's offensive to people who have lived there almost all their life or who have grown up there. And so, for example, I'll give you 2 examples of that. The first example is that I grew up right around the corner from Graham Avenue. That is spelled Graham. If you speak to Latinos, they pronounce it Graham Avenue. So Graham Avenue. And it's also underneath it a subtitle that says the Avenue of Puerto Rico. So Graham Avenue is a place where we had celebrations, festivals. We would do, prior to the biggest Puerto Rican Day festival in the world that takes place in Manhattan on 5th Avenue, we would do a pre-celebration, and that would go on Graham Avenue. There's also lots of mom and pop stores on Graham Avenue, music shops. So one of the issues that came up is that the gentrifiers were calling the police and complaining about this music shop. Now, whenever you come to a Latino neighborhood, you know when you're in our neighborhoods. So on Graham Avenue, there's this music store that plays, it's blasting out the stereo music like merengue, salsa, bachata. You can hear music like that all the time. I never walked down the street and was like, hey, stop playing that music. We don't like it. But they come to the neighborhood and now that's what they're doing. The worst thing they did was try to change Graham Avenue. So they had a petition signed to change Graham Avenue because they said it didn't reflect, I guess, the current neighborhood, which, there's still a big, huge Latino population there, but this is what they were trying to do. So, you're trying to get rid of the culture. That's offensive to people. So that's caused rift and conflict with people coming to the neighborhood. Because when you come into a neighborhood, you're supposed to contribute to it. You're not supposed to take away from it and try to change it to be your perfect little utopia of what you want it to be. You have to, get in there and adapt to the neighborhood. Otherwise, why'd you move there? Right? Right. So that's the only issue with gentrification. So I love my neighborhood so much that when I did my initial installment in a book that I plan to actually bring into a series, my initial installment is called Rascalville. And this book, everything took place actually in my old neighborhood. The actual incident, the real event that occurred in the book, it took place in my neighborhood. So this is a book that's suitable for kids that are 9 to 12 years old. There is a traumatic experience that one of the kids experienced in the book, and his friends help him to get through that experience. It's cute, it's funny, and it's warm because I'm able to kind of recapture a moment in my childhood. So it was awesome writing the book. I think the most fun part of the book is when the illustration phase takes place and you describe to the illustrators what you want it to look like, what you want the characters to look like. That was really fun. And when they actually get back to you and show you what that looks like, it was awesome. So my son actually did the narration of the book trailer that's on this channel. If you look for the Rascalville book trailer, you will hear my son, Jacob, talking. He did the narration for it, and it's animated, so you can find that on this channel. So, now we're going to go into what this is really about. Demexit. So, Demexit came before WalkAway, and Demexit meant a couple of things if you don't know that by now. There was also burning a bus. And you would know what these things were if you were on my side of the aisle. Or maybe you just were paying attention to both sides. I'm not sure. So let me tell you, for the ones who don't know about Demexit and what Demexit was. It was exactly what it sounds like. Demexit was Democrats leaving the Democratic Party. didn't say where they were going, but it meant that they were leaving, meaning that they're not going to support Democrats if it wasn't Bernie Sanders being the nominee. The establishment, the Hillary bots were like, oh, they're just being brats and stuff. So Demexit was them leaving the Democratic Party. The way that they left the Democratic Party fractured the Democratic vote, because first they're leaving. Okay, so what are these people going to do? So it was one of a few things. The first thing people were doing, saying that I'm voting for Trump. Forget that. A protest vote. So a group of Democrats were voting for Trump. Okay, so that shrivels down, that block. Second, people are saying, I'm going to write Bernie in, which was stupid, because nothing counts then at all. Because if he's not a registered writing candidate in certain states, then your vote doesn't count. He's not the nominee. Hillary Clinton was the nominee. So if you were going and writing Bernie in, that was just a waste of a vote. Okay, for that, you might as well just voted for Trump. You might as well just voted for Trump. So the last part was people who were Demexiting, and they were voting Green. So they voted for the Green Party candidate, which was Jill Stein. So that fractured the Democratic vote in a couple of places. There's a block. So that fractured it. So, when I was conversating with people online and stuff, there were people that were about it. They were like, this is what I'm going to do. They were pissed. They didn't care. That's where they stood. And so, having that information, I was like, yeah, well, if people do what they say they're going to do, Trump's going to win. But I called Trump winning in early 2016 in March. It was like, if Bernie's not the nominee, Trump's got it. That was it. So that was Demexit. So prior to this whole WalkAway thing, WalkAway just emboldened people to come out and tell their stories. But people had Demexited already. They had left. And everything, the results of 2016 are still right, because it hasn't been reconciled. It hasn't been addressed. No one's been held accountable. And I don't see how anyone who calls themselves a progressive or a Democrat, if you really cared and you were really passionate, or you were involved in the way that I was, I really don't see how you can move forward with that party. There's just no way forward. And I really don't understand what they stand for. I just have like a no tolerance policy when it comes down to corruption. So that's that. Bernie or Buzz was people coming out to Philadelphia to the Democratic National Convention, like showing up in numbers. They had built a fence so people couldn't come in. Like, they were serious, like, of keeping them away. They shunned the most vocal Black supporter of Bernie Sanders. Her name is Nina Turner. She was like the former senator of Ohio. Nina Turner, very vocal. They didn't even allow her to introduce Bernie Sanders because they didn't want that excitement. But it came anyway, because if you actually watch the clips of the Democratic National Convention, when they called Bernie, they were cheering for Bernie for like 5 minutes. They just wouldn't stop, nonstop. So, Demexit came back to bite them. Now it has basically been, a new face of it is called WalkAway. And they're doing everything they can to try to stifle this movement, because it is a movement. And I even got tagged, and somebody reached out to me directly again on Twitter about some Russian crap. Like, I'm probably not even going to engage and do a whole nother video about that, because I already did that. But they're still doing it, and they're going to keep on doing it. So anyhow, I'm really excited about the Black conservative movement that's going on. If you watch this channel, I'm hoping that I'm being, I hope that my videos are being fed to you kind of in that category, because there is a movement going on with a rise of Black conservatives, and they're vocal and they're speaking out. And if you guys view me as part of that, that feel great. That's awesome. But I don't know if you know already. I'm sure everybody knows who Candace Owens is by now. She's a little warrior. And I have been watching some of the shows she's been on, some of the forums she's had. I think the Black Lives Matter one. So she said that their new hashtag, I want to say, I don't know when I heard her say it, but she did say it, and hopefully they didn't change their mind. She hasn't been talking about it a lot lately, but Blexit, which will be the blacks exiting the Democratic Party, which is fabulous. It's awesome. And the more they see faces like Candace or Brandon Tatum, David Harris Jr., Kevin's Corner, there's a host of them. There's so many. Truth or Talk. I don't know who all the people are being considered to be in the whole black conservative movement. I'm just giving it that name. People may not even be wanting to identify as conservatives, but that's the way I'm seeing it. I consider myself conservative because of my value system, because of my beliefs, and which my belief system lines me more with conservatives. So I just want folks to know that WalkAway is not just all of a sudden a bunch of Democrats running to the Republican Party. I'd say those Democrats are more independent because we are against both establishment parties, because both parties have their issues. The Republicans is not the savior, okay? Jesus Christ is our savior, not a political party. So I think that's important, to put out there. It's important for that to be known. But I think what's going on is wonderful. I'm so happy that so many people are coming out and speaking. I thank you for all the support and the love and the comments that you guys have given. Before I go, I want to share with you at least, I put this on my Twitter last night. I got this comment from a teacher. He watched one of my videos and he said, actually, this was from my video that was called Message to Progressives, the WalkAway Message to Progressives. I'm probably messing up the title, but that's what the video is about. And this educator said, "Hi, Shala. I love your video. Please speak your mind. Express your freedom of speech. I'm a high school government teacher in the San Francisco Bay Area who has experienced the left's political hate firsthand. I have had students try to get me fired for teaching the conservative point of view. I teach the progressive point of view as well. These students wish that I just teach the progressive point of view. These students were extremely hateful. I still have my teaching position, luckily. We are living in a very politically dangerous time." So I appreciate stuff like that. I thank you. That is encouraging to me. It lets me know that I'm doing something good or my message is resonating with folks. And that makes it all worth the while, and that will keep me going and keep me coming out and talking to you guys. There's something else. Oh my gosh. So on my last video, I had like 1,530 subscribers. I asked folks, if you like these videos, you like the content, to share them and help me continue to grow. And I can tell you, I'm probably, as of today, probably at about almost 1,800 subscribers. So that is pretty awesome within a day. So I thank you. I encourage you to keep sharing these videos. Like I said, I have a really busy week ahead of me. That's why it was important for me to get this video out. Also, my son is on Netflix. He is on a new docuseries called Explained, 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 and he is on an episode called The Stock Market. So he does some voiceover, and he's visible as well. His name is Sam, and he's wearing a yellow shirt. So with that said, thank you again. I will see you guys in a couple of days probably. Like I said, hope all is well. You have a fabulous week, and stay up. Okay? Thank you. Bye.